Hey, how's it going, guys? All right. I was gonna hold off on recording any of this because there's some implications to it, but I think the implications, the necessity for the information outweighs the implications. So let's go ahead and get this over with. All right. This planetary issue, of course, we've been having problems with the ice caps melting right now. It's not a big deal. Actually, it is a big deal. Especially with we are in the middle of an art of war, there could be no better opportunity to stop this as to and any better time than right now. As well as the immense abuse of fuels and innocent people like Middle Eastern Muslim men and women who just want to live out their lives. Instead, they're kind of having their lives hijacked, kind of like many Americans here, in much the same way. Actually, I need to bring up something here. Hang on just 1 second. Please hold on. All right, we've often wondered what the dealio is with the Bermuda Triangle. I mean, are the waters full of methane? Why would planes explode over it? Well, the answer that I was provided for National Geographic is the waters of India. Specifically, the most active one is the Bay of Bengal. See that? Bay of Bengal. What that does is sunlight comes through here, and it acts like a little lens, depending on the depth. What it does is it comes out the other side of the planet, and depending on the size of the lens, because when you have a lens, it does this number right, and you have the actual point at which it intersects based entirely on this curvature. It kind of comes out somewhere out here, and its favorite part, of course, is the Bermuda Triangle. At other times, it comes out in other areas, depending on the location of the sun and what season it is, and anything similar. Now, if you recall in history, when we were having problems with the Bermuda Triangle, I said that the Russians were attacking in many instances. Obviously, they weren't. It gets far more interesting because as the waters rise, these lenses become bigger, right? And one of the interesting aspects of this actual phenomenon is it sustains the normal temperature of the planet. Of course, in relation to the polar ice caps. Of course, temperature is at the polar ice caps. So as the ice caps start to melt, these lenses, these amazing advanced natural technological phenomena of lenses become enormous. And they could actually physically blow the planet apart. Some people say, well, they can cover it up and whatnot. Now, here comes the implications. You can cover this up with clouds. You can. It's going through the planet. It means that there are specific frequencies that cannot be blocked by any object in the universe. Which means the Earth will still heat and the waters will still rise. So that's a complete failure. I want to show you something here. And let's go back to the Bermuda Triangle. Right? Russians are attacking. Oh no. All right. What I have here is a map of Libya. I can introduce you to Libya. Say hello to Libya. Let's see if I can get a better image of that. There it is. All right, you see this spot here? This is in direct line of sight of a lens on the opposite end of the planet. And you can see it's quite burned. There's oil fields all throughout here, including Saudi Arabia. If you see, there's Egypt and Saudis and whatnot, and you can see here there's another burn there. Right, and there's several of them. Now, perhaps, and the authorities do not deal with this. The transmission zones, the service areas of each transmitter. They try to keep people in specific locations, maintain transmission control, transmitter range, to eliminate us. And what they're doing, oddly enough, is they don't even provide medicine anymore. They're planning on having this issue, all the shit you're experiencing, to be catastrophic. They're actually setting it up to be catastrophic. Now, why in the hell would these various military organizations, not just here in the United States, but around the world, just very peppered little assholes who are pretty much raided by the wrong people, set something like that up? If somebody blows Libya off the map, you can bomb any country you want. Or blows Egypt, or blows anybody off the map with one of these things, you can pretty much bomb anybody you want. You'll blow the planet along with it. Here's your military joke. Right. Light comes in here this way. Right. Of course, it'll pop out somewhere, I don't know, maybe in the center of Africa, fry a couple of black people, no big deal. Right? What you don't know is that the skin of water, it also creates a reflective surface. This is something I learned from Jack Storms, and I experimented with it. I actually was creating a concave holder for one of my discs, and it was transparent, completely transparent. And I aimed it towards the light, and it was really bright. I almost put this sucker outside. The elliptical formation of the form of it and radius of it actually determines the amount of light that reflects. So what it does is it creates two cones. What it does is it overheats the planet. And if you've got oil fields or whatnot, and you've got multiple events going on here, and then there's a third one, which is the water. Now the water is pretty important in itself because light and heat, we all know lasers create giant holes, like big ass holes. So with this big ass hole, you sit there and you get a nice drain, and it goes, and it cools the center of the planet that way. Right? Now we depend on the warmth of the planet in order to have some of our gravitational electromagnetic capabilities and all this other stuff that our planet needs at the temperature that it is. Even though it's a little warm now and people can't figure out what's going on. Well, I'll explain it to you, but you have to promise to grab a barf bag. So I'll give you a second to go ahead and grab a barf bag as to why some of this other shit's going on that doesn't actually fit the lens physics concept, because this is so two-dimensional here. So why don't you go ahead and grab a barf bag for a second, I'll wait. I actually nearly threw up while I was scanning. All right, so you got your barf bag. All right, ready? There's another effect that this stuff can do, and it is really awesome. All right, what it does is the light goes in. Let's say it goes in through here, right? And it makes a beeline for the other side of the planet, right? And you get the reflective surface here. So it goes up here, and it reflects again on the skin, and boom, comes out the other side right at, typically it comes out right at Hawaii. Makes a big old Z. It's really cool, too. Hey, I know physics. Check it out. I didn't even think I could figure it out. It took one of my great grandparents to help me figure that out, but I'm never going to discuss that with anybody. So, you get a Z-axis. And, of course, sometimes this bad boy can come up right through the top Yep. Right through the top. Boing, 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 boing. Now, a lot of these places, like a lot of movies and whatnot, are attempting to identify individuals' domains as in the people that whom they've been hijacking or have hijacked, whatever the case may be. And, well, they're actually threatening to blow up the planet physically for your entertainment. Of course, the planet is comprised of millions of people, not because of several, only a few people are intelligent. Everybody on this planet is intelligent based on their range of experience. We're all extremely smart. I figured out that this fantastic light here in this thing, you know what that is? Me and my family have lived within the scope of this effect for centuries from the looks of it. What it does is it throws a DNA code from one side of the planet to the other, from the water. So I have fish DNA. So that's how I figured it out from this stuff. So I'm a little fishy and I'm a little birdie, because it goes to the bird, fish, squawk. So yeah, this lensing effect, and of course, there's several other areas that have the same thing. Like I believe that Lake Okeechobee here was created by one of these natural laser effects. There's a couple other things I wanted to say to you. I went and got really pissed off, so I went ahead and skated off any sort of intelligence that I have outdoors while people are telling me to kill people. So you're gonna have to bear with me while I get a grip. Right, they're using lasers as well, and radio frequencies, and their cars, and pretty much anything. Now, one of your biggest issues on this planet is drug dealers. And that's what a lot of the bad people who deal with the drug dealers. And these people put out tons and tons of toxic emissions, from radio frequency hostage taking to radio frequency weapons to light emitting weapons, which are warming the wrong parts of the planet. And of course, you have lots and lots and lots and lots of transportation, whether they're transporting slaves or hostages, or just flying around, just constantly putting this crap into our atmosphere. And they love to drive around in order to DX people. So these people they've literally changed the skyline here to a nice yellow, trying to show off the smog. And they're actually, what they're trying to do is blow up these key points in order to frame a nation, or have a nation bomb each other. I think this is, for me personally, I think this whole thing is karma for the attack on Japan, but that's just me. Everything has to happen at some point in time, whether a lesson learned, we can survive, or a lesson learned that there's no chance in hell we'll survive. We won't survive this at all. Legislation must be made to, number one, measure SAR. Number two, you have to debug your people whether you like it or not. Number three, heat generation from specific areas. Vital temperature measuring is extremely important. It is extremely important. Not giving a crap about another nation could very well mean you could lose the planet based on how much these little Dr. Evils think they know. And they're not. They're morons. These are complete and utter morons. Beyond that, one of the interesting aspects, let me go ahead and continue on with this so you can get a whiff. Is that, whenever the sun's hitting the water, which is 24 hours a day, it actually generates a piezoelectric effect, as well as with that piezoelectricity within the nickel ferrite core. It modulates magnetism. It modulates gravity as well as rotation of the planet. These particular events also shoot holes in the ozone, which would mean that if you get something that's big enough, it can actually destroy ozone in an area, and you'll get a loss of water, and you'll change the temperature of the planet. I have reason to suspect that this type of event actually took place on Mars and actually destroyed the planet. And it was a combination of between Earth and Mars that it actually took place. That their caps melted and the planet blew itself apart. It's a heat source. The sun's a heat source. It retains the temperature of the planet. So in combination with the water and the land masses and everything, that creates that particular natural environment. So let's say it goes ahead and it punches a hole through the ozone, or it creates too much of a storm, and it creates too much of a cover, and it freezes. And once we have too much of a cover, you have too much going on, it could very well cause the planet to ice up. And especially if the source is lost, the water evaporates, right? So anything can take place in order to keep that from actually lensing. And if water evaporates or there's too much polar ice, there's just a plethora of events that could take place. But it would be enough for it to actually just turn into a block of ice, not have the temperatures necessary for sustaining water. And of course, this particular natural event also sustained life on Earth. Big time. One day, sometime in the future, we will have to worry about Jupiter, but not today. We are in need of getting rid of these drug dealers, regardless of how much they're worth to our economy, which is crap because they're killing the economy. They take 3 times as many people as they do bring in income, and kill them or whatever. So they're kind of not feeding the economy. They're doing the exact opposite. They're just creating the illusion that they're feeding the economy, and they're not. They're killing us, and they're threatening to blow up the planet for power. Literally. In regards to this extraterrestrial thing, before the CIA and Russia or whoever the hell it is coming for that, any event, the center of the galaxy is extremely force-driven. There's a lot going on there. You can't get close to that. Hell, I bet you can't even get a good shot of it. But there's planets out there that are inhabitable, where you can get an excellent shot of the planets in the center of the galaxy, as well as surrounding regions in the universe. You can use the entire planet as a lens, have it be safe for all inhabitants, and get images and star maps of the entire universe. So aliens come here all the time. And specifically, their specific points of interest would be along this longitude here, for star maps, for water. Stop killing aliens, right? They're my friends and they're my family, as weird as that may seem. And they're your family too as well, because it's kind of like having a bunch of sailors. What do sailors do at port? They don't exactly just drink beer. So yeah, hug an alien if they stop by, and don't be an a-hole. And I think that's everything you need to know. Yeah, we probably need them to be sure our planet doesn't get blown to smithereens. But yeah, that would be it. Have a good one.